This is Twit. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Yes, it's time to talk tech, computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, smart cars, smartphones, smart watches, smart houses. 8888 Ask Leo, that's the phone number. I'm the only thing that's not smart in this whole equation. I'm just your average tech guy here, helping you out best I can. We got a great chat room that's part of the plan. The team tech guy in there at irc.twit.tv, they do a lot of answers. We also have a great website, techguylabs.com. That's free. You can get all your information there and leave comments. So if you have a suggestion, a better idea, you can go there as well. techguylabs.com. On we go with the calls at 8888 Ask Leo. Lisa in Long Beach. Hello, Lisa.
Hi, I've been listening to you since you came on KFI.
Oh, well, thank you. Way back in 2004.
Yeah, right.
That's back when we used abacuses.
I think I heard you on TV too. Some TV.
You might well have. I was a little bit on TV in those days too.
Okay, so now I've been listening. I was listening to you when you went on your cruises, and I thought I got a lot of advice. But we went on a 18-day cruise and
how fun.
Bought a cellular plan from AT&T that wasn't a plan. It was used up in 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how little data they think we use.
Yeah, and then we bought the cruise ship plan so we could get online, but you weren't able to get online half the time.
Yeah, because it's they use marine satellites. And, you know, how many people were on the boat? A few thousand?
No, this was 600 people.
Okay. Yeah, that's the size I like. But that's still 600 people using, on these satellites, about 1.5 megabits of data. That's not much.
Yeah, so we were on and off.
Yeah.
But when we got home, we had a $300 bill.
Oy. From AT&T or the cruise line?
From AT&T.
Yeah. Thanks, AT&T.
Yeah, I think it was more from the cruise line, actually.
Yeah.
So we're thinking of changing plans because kind of false advertisement.
Yeah. So.
And I just heard about T-Mobile Sprint.
The thing to understand is when you're at that when you're at sea, I don't care who you have, there's no cell reception, right? You're in the middle of the ocean.
Right.
So the only time your cellular plan matters at all is when you're in port. You're going to have to either go without or use the cruise line's internet when you're in the ocean. Does that make sense?
Right.
The cell towers don't get out that far. They only go...
But they seem to be adding more on after those 2 days they told us we used up our...
Yeah, well, here's the thing. So when you're in port... And if you don't turn off data roaming on your phone, this is really important.
We did.
Okay.
We had it off.
Then you shouldn't be using it except...
We were on airplane most of the time.
Good. So I don't know where... You better ask them. Well, let me see that bill because we were overseas and we were on airplane mode and there should be no data used by AT&T at all.
And we were in Hawaii. We should have been able to use our American plan.
Yeah, that's not international. Here's a real catch, though, you got to be very careful about. This might have bit you. There's also something called cellular at sea. This is very misleading.
Yes.
You never want to use that, ever, under any circumstances. That's the most...
How do you turn it off?
Well, it shouldn't happen if you're in airplane mode at all.
I saw it popping up on my phone all the time.
Yeah, well, it's going to pop up, but you're not necessarily going to use it. I would check on your AT&T bill or call them and see how much of this was cellular at sea, because that's really expensive. And I wish cruise lines didn't do this because...
Well, it was AT&T that advertised that we could make cellular phone calls while we were on ship.
Yeah, that's cellular at sea, and it's very, very expensive.
Well, they said it was $100 each.
For a day, for a week, for a year?
For the time that we were at sea.
Well, okay, so maybe that's $200. Maybe the other $100 was, I don't know, slippage? I don't know. I don't.
On our bill, it will say what was cellular at sea?
Yeah, and if it doesn't, you can call and ask them, because technically that's also roaming. And if you turn off data roaming, which is what you really want to,
then it was off the whole time.
Well, then you're being charged for phone calls. Did you make phone calls?
that's what we paid for.
Yeah.
Cellular phone calls or whatever the phone calls were.
So
what about Wi-Fi calling?
That shouldn't cost you anything more than the cost of the Wi-Fi.
Okay, so I went to a lecture on that on the ship and started using Wi-Fi calling.
Some carriers, I got to amend that because let me think about this. This really annoys me. Some carriers will charge you minutes for Wi-Fi calling, even though you're not running on their network. But it shouldn't cost you data at all. It should, if anything, they might charge it against the minutes. And since in most cases you have unlimited minutes, that should be effectively free. But that one, again, check your bill, the detail in your bill on that one.
Would it say Wi-Fi calling bill?
Yeah, well, it would show. It would. Yeah, it would. I think there'd be detail that would say this was on a Wi-Fi call. So, Wi-Fi calling. But do you pay for minutes? You get unlimited minutes, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I don't think that's going to be. That should have been free as well. But if you placed a cellular at sea call, ooh, it could be a couple of bucks a minute. It could be really expensive.
Okay, well, it would pop.
I completely understand your confusion.
When I wasn't talking on it.
This is nuts.
I would see that.
Well, remember, your phone, and that's why you have to turn off data roaming. Your phone will, if that's not turned off, use any data it can get to do things like check email, update apps.
Can it roam when it's on airplane?
No.
It was on airplane mode the whole time we were at sea.
Good. Then that's
I mean, so that's why it was kind of confusing how we could get extra charges. And
I would call AT&T and say, I need you to spell this out. This does not smell right.
Yeah, and otherwise, I like AT&T for connectability and using it all.
So you'd have
my location.
The same rough issues with any carrier. T-Mobile's better on international when you're in port because they give you unlimited text and call and inexpensive calling, but free unlimited text, and they give you slow, not super fast, 2G data. I have to say, in some cases, it's 3G. I've found it sometimes even LTE data in most countries, not all. It didn't work in Amman, Jordan, for some reason, but it worked everywhere else when I was just in the Middle East. And that's nice because you have at least some data in port. So the cruise Wi-Fi is expensive and really slow. Cellular at sea is right out. Unless you're desperate, you should never use cellular at sea. Those phone calls are very expensive. Data's expensive. Always, when you travel internationally, unless you have an international plan, you should turn off data roaming because your phone, if it's not off, will use data constantly. Your iPhone or your Android phone is always checking email, looking for downloads, updating. It could download gigabytes in updates without you saying anything. So you got to turn off data roaming. Airplane mode's even better. It turns off all the radios. And when you're at sea, the only option is ship's Wi-Fi or cellular at sea. So, you know,
and then how does text messaging fill in? Because both other people I knew as well as me would get downloads of text messages when we were on airplane mode or Wi-Fi calling mode.
You shouldn't. If Wi-Fi, well, see, remember, airplane mode, you can still have Wi-Fi on.
Does that give you your text message?
It will, but you'll be paying for it. Yes. Depends on the phone. So text message, this is also confusing. In the old days, text messages meant SMS, and that was carrier messaging. That did not use data. That would require a phone signal. But nowadays, almost everybody's doing it via data. Apple. Do you use iPhones?
My husband does. I don't.
Yeah, so Apple's messages uses data. And WhatsApp uses data. Most messaging apps use data. So that would be getting it through the Wi-Fi or the cellular data signal. And if you can be in airplane mode. Airplane mode technically only means turn off the cellular radios. You can still have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi on while you're in airplane mode. So make sure when you say airplane mode, you turn off Bluetooth and Wi-Fi if you don't want to use those services. It's very confusing. I don't blame you. The good news is it was only $300. When the iPhone first came out, people were getting $10,000 bills internationally.
I remember you warning us.
Yeah, because this wasn't well known. And they go, what the heck? So somebody's saying in the chat room, Burke, you get SMS with data and Wi-Fi turned off. Well, I don't know how. That's magic. then you're getting magic text messages, because that's not possible. You need to have some sort of data to get. Well, I guess you would get SMS messages from the phone service.
There were some confusing things happening on the boat. We had this expert on the iPhone who was giving us lectures, and he was saying, "Oh, today we all got text messages."
Yeah, there's some data connection for that to happen. And on an iPhone, that just could be the Wi-Fi, the ship's Wi-Fi.
Okay, so the ship's Wi-Fi could do that.
Yep.